All right, another late race caution sets up another late race restart with another unsurprising winner. We'll talk about it in 6 seconds. All right, the United Rentals Work United 500 is a mouthful, and it just wrapped up. Phoenix Raceway, first look at our new short track package. Pretty much everything else stayed the same from last week. I think if there was any doubt last week, that doubt should be gone now. The doubt that Hendrick Motorsports has found something. They have made a breakthrough with this new car because they are absolutely just walking the dog on the rest of the field. I understand there was a late race charge by Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick has a history with Phoenix Raceway. He has 9 wins there. Kevin Harvick has Phoenix Raceway figured out. Clearly, Kevin Harvick was the only real challenge to William Byron and Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson led the most laps, and William Byron won his second straight race. First time the 24 car has won back-to-back since 2007 when Jeff Gordon did it. So, recapping the race, this was our first look at the new lower downforce package. You know, the most obvious change was the lower spoilers. The spoiler height was reduced by half. Also, we all learned this week what strake means. NASCAR took 3 of the inner strakes out of the rear diffuser, along with a couple other parts in the rear diffuser, the front strakes, and then the side strakes. The best way I can explain it is if, you're waiting in line at an amusement park. The strakes are what creates the lines as versus everyone just crowding the entrance, which would be a massive problem. Those strakes direct the air. That air, being more orderly in a sense, sucks the car down to a racetrack. And NASCAR decided that some of that was responsible for the inability to pass, especially last week in Las Vegas and some of the short tracks, was the high downforce it created. I'm not sure why NASCAR was surprised by this, because this is a sports car feature. Sports car racing is not known for a lot of passing, so it's not a huge shock that rear diffuser and all the downforce it creates makes it difficult to pass and kind of creates a situation where, especially on certain styles of racetracks, certainly not all of them, where you get some single file racing. My take on, after one race, the way it worked out at Phoenix was it did its job. The race wasn't exceptionally more exciting than the Las Vegas race. It was a better race, I thought, but not a lot better. I don't know, and I don't have the answers. I wish I did. I think part of it is just teams are starting to figure out this car. They're starting to make breakthroughs, which makes it harder for everyone else who hasn't made a breakthrough or that particular breakthrough to catch up. It was more fun to watch the cars fight the handle all day long, slipping and sliding on the racetrack. That was fun to watch. But the battles up front seemed to be pretty much non-existent. Kyle Larson led far and away the most laps today, dominated the race. Early in the race, William Byron was up front. William Byron came back at the end, just like he did last week, to win. The only person who had any challenge for those guys whatsoever was Kevin Harvick. And Kevin Harvick is definitely the king of Phoenix. So that's not too shocking. It's only shocking that those Hendrick guys, this week, the big news that came out this week was Hendrick Motorsports had the louvers confiscated off of all 4 of their cars. Pretty good indication NASCAR thinks those parts have been altered. They are single source parts, which are not allowed to be altered. And if they have found to have been altered or possibly recreated, NASCAR's probably going to throw the book at them with a brick in it. There's going to be a heavy points penalty and probably a heavy fine. They can appeal it all day long. I guarantee you NASCAR, or the appeals panel rather, that's separate from NASCAR, will not be lightening that penalty any amount to matter very much. That said, they've obviously had more breakthroughs than just those louvers, because NASCAR confiscated those louvers. They replaced them with the louvers I'm assuming that they know to be correct. And Hendrick Motorsports still walked away with the day. Second race in a row. Some other notables, Kyle Larson just got bogged down on that restart. After leading the most laps, he finished 4th. Tyler Reddick gambled on that last pit stop, took 4 tires, and I thought there was a chance that was going to pay off in a big way and he could get the win, but he also got bogged down on the restart. He got pinned up in the high line on the last lap and coming to the white flag. He just didn't in his own words, he didn't execute on the restart. I'm not a race car driver, but I think it was more or less just that's the way the cards fell. That's the position he started from, and he can control himself, but he can't control what the other drivers do, and he just couldn't really make a move. Even though he had 4 tires, he was able to go move up a little higher than those other guys. The bottom groove is still the preferred line on that racetrack. However, he was still able to finish third. I know he seemed upset after the race, but man, after the start of the season they've had and given a couple days for a little bit of perspective and that sting to wear off, I think Tyler Reddick and crew will be very pleased. They've got positive momentum. They're trending back upward as the West Coast swing comes to a close, and they head back East Coast to Atlanta. Another big notable inside the top 10, Josh Berry. A lot of people, because they're so quick to do this, especially on social media, wrote him off last week. Well, he started in Chase Elliott's car, and he finished 29th when the other Hendrick cars dominated. Man, ladies and gentlemen, that was his first race in the next-gen car. He finished the race, and I think they could call that a win. So this week, 10th place, big improvement. Like, Josh Berry, if he's ever given a full-time cup ride in competitive equipment, this guy is going to be a threat. Count on it. His second race in the next-gen car at Phoenix, where passing was not easy. The cars were not easy to drive. He had enough handle on that race car to bring it home 10th. That's a pretty big statement. I got to think that those guys at Hendrick Motorsports are pleased. Their first string, their starter is out for at least 5 more weeks, and the second string has really stepped up, keeping those guys in the hunt. That's what they want. Zane Smith making a second Cup Series start, his first this season with Front Row Motorsports. His only other start was at Gateway last year. Comes home 31st. Not bad. He did finish the race. I think that was their goal. I was kind of expecting a little higher finish, but I mean, it's only a second race in the next gen car. Maybe I was being a bit optimistic for the 2022 Truck Series champion, but he's going to be racing that car more this year, and I expect that 31st place to start trending upward. Outside of the Cup Series, Sammy Smith. I don't know if you saw it. Not many people did. My video before the season started of drivers to watch for 2023. Zane Smith has proven me right, at least on that one account anyway. He won his first Xfinity Series race in the 4th race of the season. I'm telling you, he's right there with Ty Gibbs as far as raw talent. He's 18 years old, is still in high school, and he just went out and won a race. The other notable for the Xfinity race is the continued just unraveling of Junior Motorsports. They are into each other. They are not very well organized. They do not look like themselves. I've never worked for a Junior Motorsports. I'm not really close with anybody who does. Take that back. Our crew chief, Brad Means, is a good friend of Dylan Hart Jr.'s. However, I don't really have any firsthand knowledge of how they run their team. I have to imagine, though, there's going to be some tough conversations coming soon because they are not off to a good start. All right, other notes. This past weekend, the Truck Series was off. I got a chance to drive the hauler again for Wilson Motorsports, for Isabella Robusto this weekend. Thoroughly enjoyed it. If you watched the race today, you saw her, believe it or not. She was 2 different Toyota commercials I saw that she was in. I mentioned this in a video I put out last night. If you didn't see that one, let me tell you, if you're into watching drivers rise through the ranks, currently she's driving late model stock and pro late model in the Cars Tour. And I was impressed not just with her run in the pro late model race, which was the team I drove the hauler for. I was impressed with her feedback. Listening on the radio to her and crew chief Bon Suss, she's very well aware of what's going on with the car. She's very good at relaying that back to that crew chief, and she's very specific about what she wants and needs out of the race car. Those are huge benefits, especially at someone of her young age. So I would keep an eye out for that young lady. The Truck Series will be back next week in Atlanta. I'm ready to go. We'll be racing the next 5 weeks in a row, so there won't be very much going on inside this studio. It'll be mostly at-track videos from the hauler. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. I greatly appreciate it. We are closely approaching that magic 1,000 subscriber number. And for the 1,000th subscriber, I've got a little something I'm putting together that I'm going to do for that person, whoever he or she may be. I can't wait to find out who it is. In the meantime, get out and support local racing. As always, have a good rest of your work week, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching.